Yes, good evening, Roshni ma'am. You can start.
Binesh sir, can I start the program?
Yes, Madam Vandana, you can start.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I, Dr. K.S. Anjana Devi, Assistant Professor, Department of Home Science, Standard College, would like to welcome you all on the 9th day of the 10 Days International Research Methodology Workshop. Without further delay, let's dive in the program. Today, we have two eminent resource persons. The first person being Dr. Ambati Nageshwara Rao, and our second resource person, Dr. C. Palanisomi. The first resource person, Dr. Ambati Nageshwara Rao, will be introduced by Dr. T. Lakshmi, Assistant Professor, Home Science Department, Standard College. Madam Lakshmi, you can start your introductory words. Please, madam.
Okay, ma'am. Good evening, everyone. It is a great privilege to have an opportunity to introduce respected Dr. Ambati Nageshwara Rao, who is currently as an assistant professor of social work, former Dean Research and Publication Division, GNLU, Gujarat, National Law University, Gandhinagar. He is Director, GNLU Legal Incubation Council. He is visiting research fellow at Free University, Berlin, faculty at Adani Institute of Infrastructure Management, Ahmedabad, and faculty of Ganpat University, Mehsana, Gujarat. He has over 12 years of teaching and research experience at GNLU. He holds a PhD from Tata Institute of Social Sciences, Mumbai. He has more than 20 research paper publications in the area of social entrepreneurship and disability studies. Some of his articles are published with other cooperator. He has done 7 research and consultancy projects funded by various organizations, including the British Council, NCPCR Legal Department, NCERT, ICSSR, etc. He has extensively involved in training social entrepreneurship, social business models, research methodology, data analysis using SPSS, ISAR analytics, etc. Sir will be delivered on crafting a biometric analysis of research paper using open source softwares. So, sir, time is yours. You can start your presentation, please.
Thank you so much, madam. Am I audible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes,
Thanks
sir.
a lot, ma'am. Thanks
Sir.
for the nice introduction
Sir,
part.
please, welcome, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot. I thank each and every organizing committee member. I'm sharing my screen, madam. Just 1 minute. Is my screen is visible?
Yes,
No,
sir.
sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, madam. Thanks a lot. First of all, I would like to thank Indian Sociological Society, RC25, Sociology of Society, and especially the Center for Study of Social Inclusion from Pondicherry University and other collaborating universities and respective colleges, and especially Professor Sanjay Tiwari sir and entire his team for giving me this particular opportunity. I won't be able to see any chart. If there is any question, if there is anything need to be clarified, please, you can unmute yourself and you can let me know. Now, coming to today's session, that is first session, crafting a bibliometric analysis research paper by using open source softwares. We have a good number of softwares, we have it. I'll be using one of the software for writing bibliometric analysis research paper. Now, name of the software is Bibliometric, BiblioShiny. It is a part of the R software. Before having hands-on practice, before using the R software, let me have a brief understanding about what is bibliometric analysis we have. What is bibliometric analysis paper we have. I'm going to talk about bibliometric analysis. We are also going to review a couple of research papers, how various scholars are publishing papers. So what we can learn from them, why we need to conduct bibliometric analysis, and how one can conduct it step by step. I'll try my best to complete within next 60 minutes or 45 to 50 minutes. And we also can have hands-on practice if time permits on it. Okay. Now, coming to the introduction to bibliometric analysis, it is an open source software. It is an open source software, BiblioShiny. One can use it as an app. One can use it as a website, and one can download it at free of cost. It is completely free of cost. It is an open source software. It is one of the best free software. Now, just forget about the for timing software. What is bibliometric analysis? Now, before talking about bibliometric analysis, as a researcher, you might be seeing per day on average thousands of articles people are publishing it. For example, if I'm interested in sports education, or if I wanted to know what are the areas people are publishing in the area of sociology of education, no, I had to go through thousands of articles. I had to go to thousands of the articles. People are publishing it. We have various databases like Scopus, Web of Science, Google Scholar, PubMed, Procost, name it anything. We have more than 40 to 50 databases we have. Right now, thanks to advancement of technology, one way, the AI is also helping us. It also has certain ethical issues. But with reference to the facilitation point of view, as a researcher, we can get a lot of support with the help of AI apps. I'm talking about the universities, the institutions who are not having access to any kind of database like Scopus, Web of Science. They can access AI website like lens.ai, dimensions.ai. If you have websites like dimensions.ai, you don't need to go for Scopus and Web of Science. I'm not saying 100% you'll get all the articles like Scopus and Web of Science, because they are existing from last 3-4 decades. At least from last 50 years, 40 years, they're working on it. At least Scopus is from their last 20 years. We can't, at a time, within drastically, you can't bring AI software that much level. But they're trying their best to give you articles at free of cost. If your university, if your college is not able to subscribe by spending crores of rupees. Now, for just what I want to say that, take any area, it is a ocean. If you take sociology of education, it is a ocean. If you take sociology of sports, it is a ocean. Means people are working on it. And there is one website, there is one news clip. It was published in the year 1920, May 13th. A new scientific paper is published every 30 seconds. Means there are 10,000 updates in a PubMed. PubMed is one database. Every day, around 10,000 updates are taking place. And thousands of papers are adding in particular database. It means how many scholars are working, what kind of research work they are doing on it. Every research scholar may not be able to study entire research work related to a particular domain. So we have various concepts like structural, systematic literature review, bibliometric analysis, meta-analysis. Now, bibliometric analysis is nothing but is data that you're quantifying number of articles published in a particular area, in a particular domain. You're talking about metadata. What is meant by metadata? For example, if you look at this particular paper, we are talking about title of the paper, Bibliometrics, an art tool for comprehensive science mapping analysis. It is the publication title, that is the art research title. Who are the scholars published? From where they are coming from? What are the other keywords? What is their abstract? In which journal they have published it? Okay, one can able to see a lot of metadata. Other than this particular metadata that you're seeing, like year of publication, volume, one can also see, for example, this particular paper published in the year 2017. How many people cited this particular work? What is the productivity of this particular article? What is the impact of this particular article? Like in terms of citations, in terms of, for example, sports education. I just want to know top 10 scholars in the area of sociology of sports. From where they're coming? What is their contribution? Who are the people who are citing their work? What are the themes? What are their findings they're talking about? So if you want to evaluate it in terms of metadata, in that case, bibliometric analysis is one option. There are so many different types of papers we have it. If we talk about literature review, we have more than 14 types of literature reviews we have it. One type of literature review is bibliometric analysis we have. Bibliometric analysis. As a part of bibliometric analysis, we are going to quantify the metadata. It consists of researchers' contribution, their productivity. It can be related to particular university. It can be related to particular country. It may be related to particular research journal. We all have sociological built-in, right? I just want to know from last, I don't know exact starting year of the publication. Imagine that we have completed around 50 years of sociological built-in. Now myself and I'll take the help of Professor Sanjay Tiwari sir. Both of us wanted to work on this particular paper. And we want to see from last 50 years of sociological built-in contribution in terms of who are these particular authors. Are they from India? Are they from outside? From where they are coming on it? Which are the top 10 articles published in sociological built-in? What kind of citation they got it? Who are the people who are publishing it? From which university they are coming from? What kind of other collaboration we have it? What kind of institutional collaboration we have it? So this kind of data can be done with the help of bibliometric analysis. Either one can go with choosing particular topic, or one can choose particular journal, and you can evaluate the performance, or you can take particular university. For example, I want to take Tata Institute of Social Science, and who are the scholars are publishing it? How many publications are coming up? What is the annual productivity of Tata Institute of Social Science? This kind of work can be done with the help of bibliometric analysis. Now, in order to do that particular work, we have a good number of softwares are available. We have good number of softwares we have available. Starting with Inspire is one software. SiteSpace is another one. BibExcel is another one. SkySquare, Voice Viewer, SkyMap. These are some of the softwares which are available for coming with bibliometric analysis. Every software can perform different kind of options. But the software that I'm going to use for today's session, for the next 30 minutes, 40 minutes, BibloShiny. The name of the software is BibloShiny. And the best part of this particular software is one of the most friendly software and flexible software. One can use it. We'll see how one can conduct step by step. First, we are going to define aims and scope of the bibliometric analysis study with the help of reviewing the articles. I'll show you a couple of sample papers, how various scholars are publishing it, and how they're framing the research objectives, research questions. I just brought one slide from one of the scholar. Take any bibliometric analysis research paper published. Take any bibliometric analysis research paper published. They must be coming from this particular objective that I mentioned here. Name of the scholar was Ahmad Muhammad. He was talking about how to write a bibliometric analysis paper. Take any research paper published on bibliometric analysis. You will find research questions and research objectives related to the points that I have mentioned here. They'll talk about what are the research trends in the area of particular domain, who are the authors, what are the publication trends, which are the journals publishing it, which are the individuals coming from where they're coming, from which country they're coming. And we're also going to assess their performance. We also look at the impact of their research contribution and looking at the journal, looking at the country. It is going to help us. Let's take, for example, there is one article. Name of the article is Curriculum and Physical Education, Bibliometric Analysis Using Scopus Database. As we have various database, the researcher limited himself or herself with the one particular database because Scopus is a big database. We have it. Okay. One can find lakhs of articles. It depends on the topic that we have it. At least minimum hundreds of articles one can easily find from the Scopus database. So the researcher himself limited his database, only Scopus database, and topic was Curriculum and Physical Education, Bibliometric Analysis. Now, just look at here. The researcher, by using the Scopus database, he used certain keywords for collecting the data, for using certain keywords like curriculum and physical education and affiliate country. These are some of the keywords they used. From the year 1931 to 2021. From the year 1931 to 2021, he kept the time period. I just want to trace the articles which are published in the area of curriculum and physical education. Whichever article is talking about curriculum and physical education, from the year 1931 to 1921. I want to trace it, especially the articles which are published in Scopus database. Okay. There are certain filters. I'll talk about it with the help of hands-on practice. We are going to discuss about it. Now, let me go to the next part. The research objectives of this particular paper, title of the paper is Bibliometric Analysis, Psychology in Sports. Psychology in Sport. Okay. This is the title of the article. The researcher wanted to analyze literature related to psychology in sports, identify trends in literature review of the psychology in sports, analyze the impact of psychology in sports based on the literature review. So based on this particular research objectives, the researcher collected data from, you can see that the researcher collected data from Scopus database and subject area, psychology in sports, time period from the year 2021 to 2023. And the language is English, articles we have. I'll talk about it. All this stuff I'll do with the help of the data set. We are going to have hands-on practice. Just right now, see how people are framing the research objectives, research questions with reference to my slide that I have mentioned to you. These are the application-based, how one can do that part. Now, let's go to the database. We have Scopus database. The moment you open the Scopus database or Web of Science, I'm sure many of you might be, some of you might be having, those are coming from central universities or some of the universities, they have access to certain databases, like Scopus is one of the database. Now, if you want to search any articles, there are certain search strategies we have, like Boolean operators. We have certain Boolean operators, like, let's say, for example, if I simply keep sociology of sports, if I want to write paper, and name of the paper is related to sociology of sports, if I want to trace number of articles, there are a couple of options are available. I can choose by otherwise. I can choose by first author if I know particular name of the journal, I can choose it. Otherwise, I can give article title. Okay, name of the institution. There are a number of options are available. The best option is that you can always, it's better to give article title, abstract, and keywords. Means wherever it find sociology of sports in article title, abstract, keywords, it will bring it. Now, as a layman, without using any such strategies, I'll simply typing sociology of sports and clicking on search. Okay. Without understanding how to search, without knowing various key options, search options, I'm simply using sociology of sports and just clicking on search button. As you can see here, for the title that I have given, Sociology of Sports, I got around 2,232 articles. The problem with this particular search is that wherever it is finding the word sociology, it is tracing the articles. Wherever it is seeing the word of, it is tracing the articles. Wherever it is tracing the word sports, it is bringing articles. Means I'm not able to get the articles exactly related to sociology of sports. Right? Now, in order to search the articles, what I have to do it? You have to go back. Let's see right now. I'm just using certain Boolean operators, like I'm just opening inverted commas. Within that, sociology, like sports education, I can use certain keywords. Sports education is more than one word. If I'm writing more than one word, I need to keep it in under inverted commas. Within the inverted commas, sports education is one word. And I also wanted to see sports education from sociological perspective point of view. So, and sociology. Sociology is a one word. Similarly, I also wanted to see sports education, sociology, and curriculum or schools. You can use different keywords. I was writing one paper right now currently after getting this particular invitation. Sports in education is one word. I can write it. Sports in schools, one word. So you can able to narrow down what exactly you want to take it out, like sports in schools. Okay, let me limit here. So I have just used one more, let me put it. Not. There are a couple of, you can use one by one, or you can use all words simultaneously at a time also. Okay. Now let's see how many articles I'm going to get it. Social sports education and sociology. I just want to trace articles which are consists of sports education and sociology. There is some internet connection issue. One minute. Look at here. Sports education, sociology, sports in schools. I got only 21 articles. I got only 21 articles which are completely related to my research topic. Okay. Completely related to my research topic. So I don't need to waste my time. Now just imagine that I got, by using different keywords, I got around 1500 articles. I got around 1500 articles and I have ready-made data with me. As we're not going to install directly with the software, I'm going to install, I have already installed the software. Name of the software is BiblioShiny. And by installing this particular software, I opened this particular app. I'll repeat it from the beginning, as we're not going to install, looking at the availability of time. I just got ready-made data. I installed my software and my app is ready. Now, how we are going to use BiblioShiny or Bibliometrics app in order to write our research paper. The moment you open the software, you can see that there are options are here. This is a Bibliometrics software. We have options called data. If you click on this particular data, we have first option, import. By going this particular option, we have first one is import data. Let me close it. Let me perform functions again, because it was 20 minutes back, I have performed it. So it is taking time. In order to open this particular application, we need to give some instructions to the RStudio. RStudio is a software that we have installed as a part of my system. I'm just opening this particular system right now. After successfully installing this particular software, RStudio will open like this. You need to learn only three codes. First one is install. Install packages. Install packages. Here you need to type bibliometric analysis. These are the only three keywords you have to learn. If you know this particular three keywords, you can perform your bibliometric analysis paper. After installing the bibliometrics, next one you need to type library. After typing bibliometric library, next one you are going to type BiblioShiny. Now, I request all the participants, please check your mic. I request all the participants, please check your mic. Now, after successfully installing, I have given 3 commands to the app. Now, Bibliometrics app is uploaded. Now, I'm going to import my data, the data that I have downloaded from Scopus database. Here, I'm going to import it here. Import data. Right side, that is, I'm going to import raw data, and I'm getting from Scopus database. Just click on browse. Just click on browse. And this is the file, sports education. Name of the file is sports education. I have uploaded and I'm going to start working on Bibliometrics app. it is showing me how data is there. I have collected data from around 1823 articles. Just close it. It is showing me the data. If you want to cross-verify, you can verify it. Just go to overview. From here, just go to overview. I just want to know what kind of data that I have collected from the Scopus database. So just click on the main information. I have selected data from the year 2007 to 2022. And there are 1823 articles I downloaded from Scopus database. And the 1823 articles are coming from 821 journals. In the area of sports education, from the year 2007 to 2022, I have downloaded around 1823 articles. And if you look at annual growth in the area of sports education and sociology, annually 15% of articles are producing, means number of people producing is increasing. The number of scholars working in the area of sports education or sociology of sports, on average 15% is increasing in terms of contribution, number of articles are. Now, 1823 articles were published by 4,711 authors, means there are single authors and there are multiple authors. When it comes to single authors, out of 1823 articles, 347 articles published by single authors. Remaining 1,500 articles plus or 1,400 articles were published by multiple authors, means more than one author we had, co-authorship, multiple authorship we have it. If you look at international co-authorship, we have 18.90, around 19%. What are the articles published? Out of this, nearly 20% of the articles published with the international co-authorship. It means it's a very good sign that we have collaboration with various foreign countries. Okay. Co-author for document, on average, there are, for every author, for every document, there are 3 authors. For every document, there are 3 co-authors we have. So basically, these are the basic information. As there is some issue with the Scopus database, I was not able to show you that, how to filter it and all. Now, with the help of the data that we have it, we got it. This is the basic information. Now, by using this particular information, I can perform various statistical reports. I can publish my research paper. What kind of analysis I can come? I can able to come up with title of the articles, total number of articles published, co-citation, citation, co-citation with reference to authors, with reference to journals, collaboration with reference to authors, collaboration with reference to universities, collaboration between the countries, collaboration. Okay. Similarly, I can also see impact of the journals, impact of the university, impact of the article wise also. So these are some of the options one can able to perform with the help of Bibliometrics app. That is BiblioShiny app one can able to. As we have very limited time, I'll just see a couple of options that we can perform right now. After understanding the overview of the information that I had downloaded from the Scopus database, I just want to know annual scientific production in the area of sports, sociology of education. Sociology of sports. Annual scientific production. Though we have around 1,823 publications, but if you look at annual productivity in the area of sociology of sports, in the year 2007, there are 30 articles published. Whereas when it comes to in the year 2020, around 2021, in single year, there are 252 articles published in the area of sports and sociology of education, sports point of view. So this is I can able to understand how scholars are publishing it, what is the growth of the subject, how this particular subject is evolving. I can also see what are the concepts are emerging also, what are the trends in the research also I can able to see with the help of this particular BiblioShiny app. Now, we are able to see annual production of the articles in the area of sociology of sports. But I want to know, what about the citation? Okay, people are publishing it. What about their citation score? What is their productivity? If you look at the citation point of view, it is not very up to the mark. I can see that, right? In terms of citation, in case if you're not able to understand or if you feel there is some clarity is required, there are 2 options Bibliometrics is providing it. One is plot, second one is table. I can click on the table. I can able to see what is exactly this particular citation score is all about it. In the year 2007, there are 30 articles were published, and average total citation for a year is 1.71. For every average citation for a year is 1.71, and we are counting for 18 years. Okay, so one can able to see whether you want to see top 10 citations, or you can see top 25-year citations. You can also see overall. Okay, for example, if you want to import this particular plot, what I can do, as you can see, there is an option called import plot. The moment you click on this particular import, it is going to generate PNG format. You can save it, you can open it. But if you want to download the data in the form of Excel sheet, just go to table and you can select whether you want to select 10 rows only, whether you want to select all based on your requirement. If you click on the Excel sheet, it will download it immediately. The data right now you're seeing in my page. So these are the files I had downloaded, and this is the currently file working on as a part of sports education, as socially or sports education point of view, right? Now, what I want to say here, this is talking about average citation per year. Next one, let me go to journals. We have 1800 articles, but which are the most relevant journals in the area of socially of sports and sports education point of view? After selecting most relevant sources, just click on run the analysis. Just click on run the analysis. Now, if you look at here, I can able to see top 10 journals in the area of sports education or socially of sports point of view. Why it is number one? Because this particular journal, Sport, Education and Society, published 54 articles for the time period that you have selected. The time period that you have selected from the 2007 to 2022. For this particular time period, we have 54 articles published in this particular area. Next one, we have Sustainability with the Switzerland Journal, European Physical Education Review, Frontiers in Psychology. So these are the top 10 journals which are having highest number of articles published in sociology of sports or sports education point of view. If you want to see more than 10, what you can do, just go to table and you can choose top 25 journals. Okay, and you can see the name of the journal, and you can also see number of articles published in this particular journal. Now, based on that, I'm sure I can see there are so many professors also, even assistant professors. As you're going to attend any interview, some of your, those are at the early stage of their career, you might have attended some of the interviews. In the interview board, they'll ask, what is your specialization? If you say my specialization is sociology of sports, there is a possibility that, can you tell me which are the top 2 journals which are working in the area of sports education or sports sociology of sports? Now, is it easy to do it? It's bibliometric analysis. If you're going to do bibliometric analysis, one can easily prepare for their specialization point of view, at least a couple of questions. I'm not saying that these are the mandatory questions in every interview. There is a possibility that, can you tell me one Indian scholar who is contributed more in the area of sociology of sports, or Western scholar, which are the journals, which are the articles, right? So this kind of analysis, it is going to help the research scholars as well as the people, those are going to attend any kind of workshop, interviews as well. Not only for writing paper in most easiest manner, in most less number of days, it is also going to help you to understand about your trend, about your domain, right? So there are a couple of options we have. Let me go with the next one so that I'll explain every one feature from every object we have it. Next one, I'll go to the author's point of view. I just want to see who are the top 10 scholars who are working in the area of sociology of sports and sports education point of view. So we have most relevant authors. Most relevant authors. After selecting the option, there is a right side, run the analysis. Now we have top 10 scholars in the area of sociology of sports. I'm not able to pronounce it correctly. We have, first one is Hasty. This particular scholar published 25 articles. Okay. Then I think there is some we need to clean that data. We haven't cleaned the data. That's the reason it's showing the same, right? This must be the same or must be some other scholar. So we have a couple of scholars. Let's see table-wise. Number of articles, number of scholars published, top 10, top 20, you can able to see that. I also wanted to see the person who is considered as the number one for the time period that we have given. What is annual productivity? How frequently he or she publishes? He published 25 articles for the time period that we have selected it. But this 25 articles published in a single year or in different time periods, how much gap he took it. So I just go to author's production over time. Author's production over time. After selecting the particular, I just click on run the analysis. Now look at here. From the year 2007 to 2022, we have top 10 scholars, how annually they're producing on it. If you look at in the year 2007, he published only one article and his total citation is 0.28. In the year 2008, only one article. Coming to 2011, 2 articles. 2014, 2 articles. 2015, he published, this particular scholar, he or she published around 3 articles. And 3 articles. So you can able to see the gap between the 1 year to another year, how it shows others' production. It shows how others are how they're producing articles in the area of particular domain that you have selected for it. Okay. Let me go to the next one. Universities point of view. I want to see top 10 universities which are working in the sociology of sports. Okay. Most relevant affiliations, that is the name of the universities. We have Auburn University, University of Limerick, University of Porto. These are some of the top 10 universities. Based on the number of articles produced. Based on the number of articles produced. Okay. Now, you can also see top 10 top 10 countries. Now, in this particular plot, it is presenting a number of authors that are producing on it. And it's also talking about single country partnership, multiple country partnership. It shows single country partnership, multiple country partnership. Just look at here. Now, single country means you are publishing from your own country. Even if you're collaborating it, the authors are coming, co-authors are coming from same country, single author countries. Whereas we have multiple country partnership. Means you're collaborating with people coming from Spain, USA, China, like that. In that way, if you look at it, your Spain is having 18.9% multiple partnership country. They have highest percentage. They are the people collaborating more with the other. I think this one we have. Next one, Spain, 28 is Germany. We have 28%. Let me see top 10. Spain, USA, China, Kingdom. We have it. We can able to see that. Next one, country scientific production, how they are frequently producing it. How frequently they are producing the articles in the area of sociology of sports. Okay. So in case this particular graphical representation, geographical representation, if it is not helping to you, you can go to the table. By table, you can able to understand. From USA, we have 472 articles. Spain, we have 339 articles. China, we have, so this talks about country productivity, number of articles we have it. Okay. Most cited countries. Okay, we have a good number of countries having highest number of publications. But which countries having highest citation? So USA, Spain, we have it. Australia, total number of citations, one can able to see that. Germany, Canada, Italy. If you want to see the table, it will give more clarity. Total citations and average citation, average article citation. We have total citation is 1, and on average, every article, how much citation you got it. That we have got the reports we have. So similarly, one can also talk about conceptually how concepts are emerging up. How there are 1800 articles, but what are the themes are emerging? in the area of sociology of sports, or sports education point of view. I just want to see the themes. Okay. If you look at this particular plot, here, we have centrality, we have density. The titles, the keywords that mentioned on the top right side, these are the themes are currently, they are in a booming stage. They are currently in the limelight. People are working on these particular concepts. Okay. Whereas coming to the left side, bottom, these are the concepts people forgot about it. These are the concepts people forgot to, they hadn't, or maybe they are emerging it. Whereas right side top or right side bottom, these are the concepts developed it, but still need to be developed further. Still needs to be developed further. Okay. These are the concepts currently working on it, but still the development is required. People need to work more on these particular concepts. Okay. These are the emerging themes. These are the emerging things, but not developed much. So people can able to see how concepts are emerging from different, based on the keywords, based on the title keywords, we are able to get it out here. Okay. Next one is thematic evolution. There's some issue with the data set. I can also see social structure, like collaboration network, collaboration between scholars, collaboration between different countries. Okay. So what I'll do, I'll show you a couple of papers, how other scholars are publishing it with reference to their findings part. Look at here, number of articles from the year 1922, 2030. I think 2022, it must be 2022, 21. Okay. And how articles are published in the area of curriculum and physical education point of view. Okay, one can able to see the growth of the subject in terms of number of articles are contributing it. Okay, and you can also see the top 10 citations, top 10 journals in the area of curriculum and physical education. And you can also present in the form of plot, you can also present in the form of table. And number of citations, journal wise. So this is the highest, this journal is having highest number of citations. Sport Education Society. Okay. You can also present with the help of networking images, with the help of voice viewer. We haven't discussed about it. Okay. Then most cited authors in the field of curriculum, like top 10 scholars that I have discussed about it. Okay, we can present it. And whatever articles, journals I'm showing, these are not simple journals. They are most quality journals published in Scopus and Web of Science journals. Okay. Okay. Now, next one, most cited articles in Scopus database and curriculum. Like this is the title of the article. Who are the authors? Name of the journal. How many citations you got it? Means I'm trying to say that there are thousands of scholars are writing papers. Meta bibliometric analysis, one type of the paper. It may not be the cup of copy of everyone, but one time in a life, one can able to try, okay, this is something unique paper, one can able to write it to understand about your own domain, about your own area of the work that you are carrying out. Okay. Some of you scholars, those are rigorous, those are really serious in terms of qualitative, talking about theoretical point of view. You may not like this particular paper, this kind of papers, but as universities, this became like commercialized. I'm sorry to say that we are pressurizing many of our PhD scholars to come up with various publications. It is a mandatory that go for publications. And in that case, one of the most easiest way to publish and most easiest way to write the paper is bibliometric analysis paper. Okay. I'm not compromising. I'm not asking you to compromise the quality, but this is one type of the paper one can write it and one can get the publication and you can add knowledge. You can contribute something in your own domain, which other scholars are not generally working on it. Okay. So this is one type of the paper. Let me show you a few more papers. Exploring Biblioshiny for historical assessment of global research on sustainable use of water in agriculture. Okay. Now look at the paper, format of the paper. They are presenting summary of the articles, time span, from which time to which time they have selected. This particular scholar collected data from the year 1992 to 2022. And 722 articles they have collected. Okay. And they started presenting the data. I'm sure all of you might be knowing it. Sustainability is one of the most reputed publisher, right? So we can understand the importance, how scholars are giving importance, how scholars are writing papers by using open source software like BiblioShiny. So this is the paper structure. If there are any questions, I'll take it. Otherwise, I'll explain a few more concepts. I just touched the what is BiblioShiny. I didn't discuss much on it. If there are any questions, please let me know so that I can further explain more on it.
Hello.
If you don't have any
Yes.
questions, I will start. Yes, please.
Sir, may I? Yes, I have one question, sir.
Please, please.
Is it open source software, BiblioShiny software?
BiblioShiny is open source software. Yes.
Okay. Sir, could you suggest some emerging area in the field of social work or sociology where we can use BiblioShiny, we can do bibliometric analysis?
I should not, your doctor, right? Whenever my PhD scholars approach, please suggest me topic I want to do research. See, suggesting topic is not my cup of coffee, right? I can tell as my like interest because you are going to work on my own research. But as a scholar, you're going to spend 3 to 5 years period of time. If you don't know what is your area of interest, what is your passion, you have to travel. It's a journey, right? So in that case, imposing such a topic on our research scholars or telling someone is not the right choice for me, at least. Now, actual answer to you, see, I am not the expert in to give some suggestions to on which area you have to work. Okay. Point number one. If you ask something like social entrepreneurship, there are certain areas I can explore. I can suggest you, but I don't prefer to suggest. I don't prefer to impose. These are the topics we have it. If you do it bibliometric analysis, I ask my PhD scholars, first thing they have to do bibliometric analysis so that they will understand who other scholars are contributing, what kind of work they are doing on it, what kind of research has been done. Once they understand how to do it bibliometric analysis, next step is systematic literature review. That is a little bit rigorous work. One has to spend time, quality time, and you have to analyze your data. You have to talk about theories, different perspectives, everything. Once we complete with systematic literature review, still if your research scholars are interested, next one we can go with meta-analysis. Meta-analysis, mostly psychologists, healthcare researchers, behavioral scientists, they'll conduct meta-analysis. Is another important paper one can able to write it. Dr. Mol Raja, I don't suggest you any topic. My simple suggestion is that doing bibliometric analysis is the right option. One can able to trace out what are the emerging areas. Okay, who are the top. For example, if I want to publish my article, now I can see top 25 articles because I can't target my top 5 journals. At least let me focus on top 10 journals. I want to publish my articles in top 25 journals. So which are the journals? I can able to focus only that particular journal. What kind of contributions they are getting it? What are the other guidelines we have it? What are the instructions they have it in that particular journal? Who are the scholars publishing it? What is their writing style? So I can able to go through that top 10 publication journals. That will help me further to learn from the existing scholars from their publications point of view. I hope I answered your question, sir. Simple as that. No suggestion for this reference to topic. Any questions? Shall I discuss few more topics otherwise? Still we have 10 minutes time.
Question.
If there are no questions, I'll talk about how to report your results, how to conduct the study. Because as time is very limited, I thought it won't be helpful without showing you hands-on practice. Let me show you a couple of slides where I was talking about how to present your research paper. What is the structure of the paper that you can do that if you want to write bibliometric analysis paper. Let me share my quick slides.
Okay. Thanks you, sir.
Yes, please.
Thanks you, sir.
Are there questions?
Any question?
If there are no questions, I'm sharing my screen. Are there any questions? Okay, I'm sharing my screen.
No? Hello?
Yes, please. Okay. Now, how to search it? How to report your methodology part? That is very important part. Now, for example, I'm using words like sports education. For the sake of simplification, let me go with one keyword. Sports education. Okay. I got around 1400 articles. Now, as a researcher, I can decide this particular 1400 articles are coming from different time periods. Now, I want to know when was the first article published. So as you can see here, there is an option called Analyze Results. If I click on this particular Analyze Results, I'll get a basic overview of the articles. I can able to see there is an article published in the year 1931 about sports education. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Yeah. In the year 1973, there is a first article on sports education. Okay. Now, by the time it reached 2022, we got around 138 articles in a single year. Okay, that's what we can able. So you can see the time period. Now, what I want to say here, you can restrict the time. I want to see only last 10 years, or I want to see only last 5 years. How many articles published in the area of sports education from the year 2012 to 13 to 2023. Okay. Out of 1400 articles, for the time period that I have given, these are the filters. Okay. These are the filters one has to report as a part of your research paper, how you have selected the articles. By giving the filter, I have selected range from the year 2013 to 2023. How many articles I got it? 1994. Next one, I am not partial towards any, I don't have any partiality towards any other. I want all the articles. I want articles of all the authors. But when it comes to subject area, I'm not able to justify the titles which are coming from the other subject areas like energy, material science, and all. So what I'll do, I'll choose the area that I'm coming from. I'm coming from social science. Imagine that my colleague is coming from business and management if you are working as co-authorship. So I'll select the subject areas, social science and business management. If somebody is coming like a third author, he or she is coming from psychology background. So I'll select 3 subject areas based on my specialization. After selecting specialization, click on Limit to. Limit to, I'm limiting my articles with reference to these are the 3 subjects. Out of 900 articles, now I have excluded certain articles. Right now I have 638 articles I have. Then document type, I can choose article type, book chapter, conference papers to some extent. Okay. So these are my choice. I have selected for it. I want papers which are already published in final stage. In case, if you're having thousands of articles, and if you want to come up with inclusion exclusion criteria, if you want to exclude so many articles, you can go with specific keyword wise. Like for example, physical education, sports education, sports education, sports, teaching, pedagogy. So based on the keywords, it's not compulsory you have to select all the keywords. If your volume of articles are very less, you can go with all. But if you have thousands of articles, you can go with particular keywords so that your focus will be reference to that particular keyword that I have selected it. Okay. Let me show you here right now. So these are the keywords I have selected and I got 332 articles. Okay. Then affiliations, I don't have any issues. Language is only English language, limited to. Last point I want to explain here. After giving you all the filters, I want to export all the titles, metadata. Just click on all. I want to export. We have different formats are available here. If you want to import this particular data and you want to use BiblioShiny app, we have to import data in the form of BibTeX format. What are the data that you are going to import it? If you want to use in BiblioShiny app, we have to download from BibTeX app. Okay. If you click on BibTeX app, it will show you what are the sources of data that you want to download it, that you want to import it. I want entire citation information. I want entire bibliographical information. I also wanted to read entire abstract for every article. I also wanted to read other keywords, abstract, index keywords, and include references. So selecting all, just click on export. As you can see at the bottom, it will start downloading your data, that is importing your data in the form of BibTeX format. One more important point. If you're downloading data from the Scopus database, at a time, one can download up to 2000 records, up to 2000 entries. One can, like for example, we have 231. At a time, one can download up to 2000 articles. But if you're using WebEx, you can use up to 500. Means you have to carry number of, for example, there are 2000 articles. If you're using WebEx, you have to download 1 to 500 first, 501 to 1000 second time, 1001 to 1500 third time, like that we have to number of stages. But when it comes to Scopus, you can download at a time up to 2000 articles by using Scopus database. So this is all about, there's a lot to discuss, but still I think we can end this session for timing. If there are any questions, I'll be more than happy to take it further.
Sir, in the chat box, there is one question.
Chat box, okay. Can we do the same for other databases such as JSTOR and Sage? Sage is a publication, is a publisher. Now, one can do manually with the help of Excel sheet. You can put it and you can use it, download it in a BiblioShiny app. The best part is that if you're using Scopus or Web of Science or any other database, the functions you can use optimum level. If you are using Google Scholar or if you are doing manually, it is going to be a very tedious task. If you want to use Google Scholar, JSTOR, or one or two journals point of view. What are the minimum articles to be selected for doing bibliometric analysis? There should be good number of articles. For example, when I talk about systematic literature review, we say that minimum 70 to 80 articles should be there. Because they are going to read systematic literature review, every article you are going to read. But when it comes to bibliometric analysis, you are going to do meta-analysis for particular time period, around 10 years, 15 years, and you're talking about universities, countries. So there should be minimum amount of data. Now, if you're not able to find more than 200 database, 300 database, you can use other databases. For example, from Scopus, for this particular domain, I got only 200. You can use multiple databases and you can merge that particular data and you can start working on it. But 200 is less. And at the same time, I have seen many of the articles, they have minimum 700, 800 databases. We are not talking about full text articles. We are only talking about metadata. So it is easy to get it one easily because you're not going to read the entire text of the research paper, entire article you're not going to read. So number is easily one can get it in terms of thousands of articles. There are 2,000 articles also one can include it. Okay, who can see that next one? The same way, whatever I mentioned, just we are going to click on select all. Right now, I have shown you 231. Whether it is 231 or 2000, steps are the same. You have to give the instructions like click on all, export in the form of BibTeX format. In the form of BIP text format, we have to import it. In case, if you're going to work in voice viewer, if you're going to work on voice viewer, one can use a CSV format. One can use CSV format to import the data set. Next, very insightful. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I'll be sharing my YouTube channel link with you all, where I discussed bibliometric analysis around 3 hours. After editing, it came around 2 hours. And similarly, systematic literature review, there are 2 hours. So if you're interested, you can subscribe it. You can watch this particular YouTube channel. I'll share few more videos. Considering the growing use of online literature database and literature management tools in the literature, what do you believe are the main challenges specific to Indian researchers when it comes to accessing and efficiently utilizing these resources? And how can these challenges be overcome? First one is every institution not having same amount of resources. So one can able to see inequality there itself. Okay. Now, you cannot say that inequality is a problem for lifelong. As a researcher, if you decide you want to work, if you have passion, if you are interested, talk with your professors, talk with your colleagues who are working in different universities, different colleges. Let me tell you one more point. Look at any bibliometric analysis, systematic literature review, meta-analysis. Single author papers are not allowed to publish it. At least meta-analysis, systematic literature review. If you look at even bibliometric analysis, there will be a team of members because you're going to review 2,000 papers in terms of their title, in terms of abstract, in terms of everything. It requires good amount of time to spend for screening every article. And there should not be any kind of bias. I haven't discussed research methodology part, but it is expected that as a team, you have to work, as a team, you have to contribute systematic literature review, meta-analysis, and bibliometric analysis research paper. So in that case, if you're interested in writing research paper, look at your friends, your college friends, your university friends. Okay. If you're able to believe, if you're able to trust them, you can work with them as a collaborator. You can't always expect you want to work with the person who is having with you 20 years experience, or you always wanted to work with only your PhD scholars, right? We are in the information society. We have some limitations. Limitation cannot be a problem lifelong. So I think this is what I felt it. This is what I used to suggest it. I don't know how you consider it. This is how we can overcome the challenges. Yes. Any more questions? I hope it is done. Again, there is a question. How can Indian researchers optimize the use of literature management tools to overcome limitations in access to quality research database? That's what I mentioned, Faizan. If you're not able to, because of your university limitations or college limitations or because of funding limitations, don't look at only your university. Look at the people from outside. Look at the people, if, for example, if you look at the scholars who are working in your own domain, you may not be able to approach every scholar, every professor, but there might be people who are at the stage of their career, or maybe who are senior scholars, but who are interested to work with the people. You need to find out the people. You need to, based on your networking, you need to use your networking skills. As we're talking about information society, with the help of social media, we can use it, how we can build our network, how we can trace the people, those who have similar kind of interest. You may get certain bad experiences also, but at the end of the day, you can able to find someone for writing one paper because we're not sharing our home, our family relations with them. It's just writing paper. So we can able to trust someone based on our understanding, our coordination with each one of them, right? Yes.
Sorry, sir, for disturbing you, sir. Another resource person is waiting.
Yes, ma'am. From my side, I have done it. Thank you so much for it. Thanks a lot. Yeah, I've done from my side.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot. Once again, I thank all the organizing committee members Indian Sociological Society, RC25, and all the education institutions. Thanks a lot. Thank you so much.
Hello.
Thanks you, sir,
Hello.
for the insightful and engaging presentation on the use of the bibliometrics and how it is gradually extending to all disciplines. Your knowledge and expertise have truly enriched today's session.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot. Thank you, everyone. Yes.
Thank you, sir. Again.
Thank you.
Next, I would like to call upon Dr. N. Sandilal, Assistant Professor, Home Science Department, Standard College, to introduce our second resource person, Dr. C. Planisomi. Madam Sandilal, please start your introductory speech.
Okay, Madam. A very good evening to our respected resource person and all the participants. It is a great privilege to have an opportunity to introduce our second resource person, respected Sir Dr. C. Palanisamy, who has completed his graduation from Advanced Zoology and Biotechnology Government Arts and Science College, Tamil Nadu in 2010. He completed his Master in Social Work from Bharatiya University, Tamil Nadu in 2013 and completed his PhD in Social Work from Bharatiya University, Tamil Nadu in 2024. He has attended and conducted many research methodology and data analysis courses and workshops sponsored by ICSSR and DST. He has professional work experience in medical social worker. He has invited as guest speaker in seminar on research methods and methodology, statistical application, and also acted as a resource person on awareness program on prevention of substance abuse for college students and career guidance for college students sponsored by NIST and RUSA. He has contributed in many research projects. He has taken part as correspondent author, as co-author in academic publication. He has participated and presented in national and international symposium, conference, workshop, and seminar. Today, our eminent speaker will deliver on academic writing. So, sir, board is open. You can start your presentation, sir, please.
Thank you so much for your brief introduction about my profile and all. So thank you so much for once again for the organizing committee of Indian Sociological Society and Pondicherry University. And thank you so much for the organization committee also. Can I audible, ma'am? My slides are visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir,
Okay.
it's visible.
Can I proceed further, ma'am?
Yes, yes, sir, you can.
Okay, thank you so much again. So good evening, honorable person here. This is a privilege to participate to this research methodology workshop to share my experiences and all things. Then more than we are focusing on today's lectures is covered by academic writing. So why is important academic writing? Then what way is connected to our career growth and development and contribution of the society as well as making policies, because through academic writing is not a skill. Actually, it's a scientific skill which is help individuals or researchers or professors, academic communities to develop their enhanced knowledge and skills, in particular to regarding their publication and all. Because through publication only we can able to give a fulfilled policy about our society, then our society will get benefited through some such good initiative policies. How the policies will come through research initiative, research outcomes. So based on the research outcomes only, government made policies and recommendations. Through that, lot of millions of people benefit from it. All this process done by researcher. As it is so far, academic writing is the most important skill to deliver what the researcher are thinking, or deliver what existing source of finding related to such social problems and all, Then based on the findings only the problem, policies are came. So within the brief introduction, so I'll proceed my presentation. My topic was covered today, academic writing. So we as academic community, we have certain exercise, we can do our day-to-day life practices. For example, every day we sit, we come to our, institutions and we start with our research process. Anything starts, with curiosity, right? So even we can read some newspapers and watching TVs and televisions, we get some inferences about what happening in the society, so that we can get some inference about the problem. Then we don't know how we conduct the problem. And so initial research start with curiosity, then refer. So that's why we call it research. So research will emerge. We can search and search again, get inferences, get knowledges about multiple data sources and existing empirical evidence, not in the source of leisure evidence like that. So empirical evidence, based on that we can deliver, we can refer so many other existing source of literatures, databases, books, journals, articles, whatever it is. So anything starts with refer. So through that reference we can read that articles, what the authors or findings are incorporated in the research process. So through that we can get some inferences about the research problem, then the research process. Through that we can frame our research question in research. So through reading, we start our writing process. So reference, reading, writing, these all three processes we done in our schools also. Anyway, our school, we can read, write, reproduce. These three things will do. But in come to further education into a higher level, like PhDs or more than postdoctorate or the doctorate of literature, we include some other scientific approaches also. So made that statement, made our process should be authentic and scientific. Then after the right process, we can reproduce the knowledge. Whatever existing author reported or existing literatures or says about the particular problem, we can reproduce the statement of our own inferences. Our own inferences come through scientific evidence, right? So that obviously the data or whatever we produce statement become scientific, and it should be novelty, but it should be unique also. That references will further, other researchers will take the do in their further research. Then what is academic writing, right? So it's a non-fiction writing. What is non-fiction and fiction? Fiction means it's a fantasy, like, so we get some stories, fictional stories and all. We cannot able to write in academic purposes because everything demanded scientific and systematic way of finding solution to the problem. This is the basic definition of the research. In terms of academic writing, we use some non-fictional writing. We can combine facts and real events, what existing in the society or what came from what findings came from respondents. So through that empirical evidence only we can start our writing. So whatever source we can refer in context of academic writing and academic purposes, that databases, that sources need authenticity. It should be empirical one. It should be published material or whatever source reporters, documents in government report, but it should be authenticated. It should be have proper DOI. I hope you all are aware of DOI. It's a digital object index, right? So we have certain databases linkers. So standardized publications. So through that we can able to understand that data sources and materials have authentic, right? So our writing becomes scientific. How we can approach, we can apply all these scientific methods and techniques and analytical skills, then the writing process became scientific writing. Then first we need to understand the types of academic writing that requires data analysis. Obviously in academic, so academic and research institution, mostly we can deal with certain types of academic things. For example, thesis. I hope you all are aware about thesis. It's a long form research paper, typically consists of 100 pages. We can combine all those methodological and analytical and literature review introduction process. Likewise, we can combine as a thesis. Then dissertation. Dissertation is nothing but it's a long form research paper similar to thesis, but it's required to doctoral degree. So in a PhD students or PhD scholars are doing this kind of dissertation to submit their research findings in the form of dissertation. Then articles. There are many types of article forms. For example, literature articles, then case studies, then systematic reviews, then longitudinal reviews like bibliometric analysis, like report, whatever something. So there is multiple types of article, mostly published in standardized journals and other things also. Then report, for example, mostly deal with report is a precise form of summary of key findings. It's not like that, dissertation or thesis. We should give a precise of our findings in the form of report. Mostly it deal with, when it comes to research grant, we can do this research project. We can send our things to, we can submit our reports to journals. We can submit our reports to research grants. Research funding agencies, then government asking any kind of projects, we can submit our report. Then mostly in academic writing. So why we do this academic writing? So everything for the purpose of conducting research and public research, then it should be publishing, right? So we need some basic understanding about the research. So then only we can come to other process. So everything starts with curiosity, then experience give you certain inferences or some inferences to the problem, whatever it is. Then we can we can start our process to enter into a research process. So these are the basic foundation of the researcher must have the basic understanding of philosophical view. I give you certain glimpse of philosophical view aspect to conduct research. So if you have any doubt, we can work after the finishing session. You can ask me any question regarding to that. So what is the research paradigm? Why is important to research program? But in the conventional research, contemporary research, most of the researcher in the thesis failed to frame a research paradigm. Why is important? It's direct to the researcher how we can choose, appropriate research methods and methodologies for our research, conducting research. So that's why in case of research paradigm, ontology is the most important thing. Ontology is nothing but it's a study of reality. So what is reality? For example, what existing in the society or the problem is really existing, it should be measurable. We can able to conduct research. Other than we cannot able to conduct. For example, the person able to run 20 kilometers per hour, he can jump 100 meters. It is not possible. So it is not have any logical assumptions. So in that case, we cannot able to frame a research question like that. We cannot be able to frame a hypothesis. We cannot able to frame objectives. Then we cannot able to conduct research. So ontology is the fundamental aspect of the researcher to understand the feasibility or reality of the problem, scientific aspect of the problem, that whether the problem we can able to measure in terms of application of other statistical tools and whatever things in qualitative or quantitative aspects. So ontology is the most important thing. Ontology have a separate 3 dimensions. One is subjective, the another one is objective, subjectivism, then constructivism, then objectivism. What is subjectivism? Subjectivism is more about the individuals. So we can able to find out or understand or explore or assess individual perception, attitude, knowledge, experience in the context specific to their problems. Constructivism, whatever problems faced by the respondent or whatever circumstance, whatever phenomena happened in the society, everything influenced by the social structure or social circumstance. So these social context or construct individuals' behavior and individuals, it influence individuals' behaviors and experience, knowledge, whatever perspectives, it has more impact on that. When come to objectivism, it's more about dealing with statistical package. For example, we can we cannot able to restrict our, we can restrict our variables in the form of questionnaire. We can construct our questionnaire in a precise form based on our objective. That objective part in the questionnaire should be analyzed with the use of statistical package. It's more about generalization. It includes more people in the objectivism part. There is a significant difference in the objectivism and subjectivism than constructivism. Then epistemology. What is the epistemology? It's a theory of knowledge. Theory of knowledge, anything which starts with knowledge with based on fundamental theories, that should be measured, that should be validated by using principles, then methods as prescribed by research methodology process. So there is a difference between ontology and the epistemological perspective. Epistemological perspective have two subdimensions. One is positivistic, then one is interpositivistic. What is positivistic? It, rather than exploring, explain the phenomena in the use of statistical forms in larger scale perspective, we can came to generalize the study findings into the population. Interpositivistic approach, rather than the explain and measure, we can explore the phenomena of a more subjective aspect or individuals focusing concern. When it comes to the fundamental difference between methods and methodology, these fundamental difference able to give certain insight to the researcher to choose appropriate statistical thing or research design on tools, whatever things in the research process. It gives it give you like an eye opener. Okay, for example, the fundamental difference between methods and methodology, it's simple. Methods, it's a smaller one. Methodology is a broader one. For example, there is a significant difference between skin and dermatology, right? Skin is a smaller proportionate or part study of dermatology. Dermatology is a broader one. It includes every aspect of that particular subject. For example, methods, we dealing with more tools and techniques, whatever things. Methodology is combined with all principles, research paradigm, whatever things we can deal with on our research, it comes under methodological part. So why we can focus on these two aspects? Because every study conducting for generating the empirical evidence, right? So how we can generate empirical evidence, how the findings become empirical. So empiricism arrival through both approaches. We can use qualitative approaches and quantitative approaches. It depends context specific to their problem, research problem, right? So qualitative approach, these research paradigm and methodology, then empiricism have connections. We can try to explore the connection between three factors when we can able to understand the research process quite easily. Okay, for example, qualitative ideographic approach is mostly connected with qualitative approach. What is ideographic? It's nothing but it's more of individuals. It's not much focusing on sample size. The main purpose of ideographic is to explore the phenomena without constructing restrict the variables. Because in quantitative aspect, we can restrict the variables. I need certain this results only, so that's why we can frame objectives. But in a qualitative aspect, we cannot frame objective because subjective aspect is more important in qualitative aspect. That's why we have a research question rather than a hypothesis, rather than objectives. I hope you understand the difference between qualitative and quantitative. Nomothetic, nothing but we can study of group of people, whether it's at a block level, at district level, at state level. That's not at all matter. But in a group of large scale of people, so we can able to generalize this result to the population, whether these results to have similarity, this problem will face by the respondent in this locality, like that. So obviously this philosophical view gives some insight about the research paradigm and the process. Then we can do further research. For example, research, every research we have data, right? So without data, we cannot able to conduct research either in qualitative form, in quantitative form. That's not a matter, but data. data it's nothing but it's bits of information about the research problem, whether you can collect in a quantitative or qualitative, whether use of interview schedule or questionnaire, that's not a matter. So data is a fundamental source. So that data give you certain information about the research problem, then the population, then regarding the socio-economic perspective, the living condition, whatever the variables that you construct in the questionnaire or interview schedule. So these things gives you certain knowledge. So how the knowledge transfer into wisdom and transfer into empirical one, we in this case, in this part, we have to apply our scientific methods. That's obviously you all the scientific applications using some techniques. What are the scientific techniques as proposed by used by in contemporary research process? Then only the knowledge become more authentic. Through that knowledge, we can attain wisdom. What is wisdom? Wisdom is nothing but through the entire process, we are researcher give new findings regarding the problems or whatever things. The findings give certain solutions. Then certain solutions make based on the solutions, based on the recommendations, the policy will come. Obviously, in any form, any form of thing, the respondent or society will get benefited. So these are the fundamental features of academic writing. You all are familiar about that because we all deal with the aspect from the schooling level to higher education level. When it comes to the academic writing, there is a significant difference between academic writing and conventional writing, right? So conventional writing, we cannot use any empirical evidences. We cannot give any citations. We cannot code any statistical things or whatever problems faced by the students at percentage level. We cannot able to give any scientific data, right? So that's a conventional writing. Anything we can through our mind, something process or concept will generate it. We can start to write in a conventional way, but the scientific academic writing is quite different from conventional writing, right? Our writing, while we are writing an article for submitting to the standardized reputed journals, so we have to focusing on this aspect. It's more important. For example, our writing should be precise one. So don't give any vague statement. So what is what you want to convey to within the aspect of the context, you can try to convey that in a precise manner. It should be balanced one. So we can, in a writing process, we can combine all those. We can have a separate dimensions, like separate, parts in our research process for in terms of, thesis, articles, review articles, whatever it is, we have separate. So we have to do our balanced writing, right? So it has some objective. So any writing, academic writing should have an objective. Whether our objective, this form of academic writing should be reach that audience or reach the reader, should be have more objective one. Then it should be formal one. Like it should be structured. Like as I told you, everything is doing in a such structure aspect. We do follow certain aspect in our writing. We give structure to each and aspect. For example, it's in a academic writing, so we cannot bluff our writing in a like a flow of writing thing. We can give structure. For example, introduction thing, you can in a background part, you can give information about the research problem, then what is the causes, then what is the impact, then what are the factors influence, then what is the existing evidence in the form of statistics or something like that. So it should be subject one. Then it should be evidence one. I told you that scientific writing requires evidence data. It requires facts, that already published in standardized databases that only we need to take, right? So we do some critical aspect also. Rather than conventional aspect, we cannot use our critical, critical and logical thinking for connecting, that phenomenon or research problem and give you a view of that, problem. In a academic writing, we use our critical knowledge and skills, whether that writing pattern give coherence, it should be logical, it don't have any broken paragraphs. Likewise, it should be critical one. We should examine the entire process thing. Then as I told you, it should be structured one. It's one of the features of academic writing. we all familiar that, what is the structure of an academic paper or, article, or thesis or report. We know certain things. These are most, common structure, fundamental structure as, prescribed by, academic communities. Then these are things which followed by students across the worldwide and the scholars and the faculties mostly in the worldwide, right? So, for example, we have an introduction part in the academic paper, then literature review, then methodology, then results. Then based on the results, our discussion will prolong. Based on the discussion, we came to conclusions. Based on the conclusion, we give certain recommendations for future research directions also. When come to the research paper, so we should include our abstract. So we test some keywords also. So this structure, it's a common one, but if you look it into the journal's perspective, for example, Lancet is a standardized publisher in a worldwide for medical science researcher, then Springer Nature, then Biomed. Okay, these are some quite famous and standardized publishers. They have some unique structure. Like they when you try to approach your paper into that article, they give you certain structure of the article. This structure you need to follow to finish that paper. You need to enclose your all relevant documents required by the journal needs. You have to submit. So this structure is a common one, but based on the journals, based on the databases, the structure will different from each other. So writing style and tone. When we are writing, so we should have a focused to avoid vague terms and jargons and unnecessary complexity words or vague statements in the writing, in the article or whatever reports, things. It should be focused one. While mostly, we can we can try to write an article or thing. Most of broken paragraphs into that. Most of vague statement, we can use unnecessary jargons into our writing pattern. So we must concise and focused when we are writing some articles and reports and research documents. Must avoid these problems. When come to the formal languages, we cannot use like simple impersonal tone statements, languages like I, we, then he, she, like this kind of statements or codes. Mostly we can try to avoid this kind of codes included on the research process, but it has some differences when you write a focus group discussion. So obviously you give your when you discuss your results, so we can give we can write our thing like this person was quoted like I faced this problem when I was during this age. Likewise, we can quote it, but they has a similar contradictory also. But mostly to avoid this jargons when you use writing skill. Then bias. This is a more important thing. Your writing, make sure your writing has objectivity, but naturality in the nature. Try to give your bias. It should be unbiased one. For example, in your qualitative research, most of the researcher try to sensitize the results. They give their own inferences into the respondent results. I hope you understand, because that obviously comes to the research bias. So try to avoid your research bias. Then the statements, whatever thing existing, whatever data you collected from the respondent, try to quote that. So when you're writing sources, acknowledgements is more important. But why? Because whatever we writing, we researched, that all researched by some previous researcher. That knowledge not came through our mind in our own way. It has some references. So try to quote in-text citation as much as possible, because if you refer some, international standard databases like Lancet, Lancet publishes, then you can refer the published article. You can able to see more than 50, more than 100 kind of references is there. Why? Because that references make the statement more authentic. It shows the researcher integrity, so giving acknowledgement to the existing, existing researchers. Then plagiarism. This is the most important problem faced by the researcher in India as well as the other countries, because now, AI inventions, right? We can use most of the AIs like ChatGPT, then Genie AI, whatever thing, then Gemini AI. There is multiple AI came to help the researcher, but we must be careful when we use these softwares, because we can, whatever thing we can give, the ChatGPT AIs, we give certain informations. We cannot able to refer that, have trustworthy or not. What conventionally the researchers in India was doing, they simply take that statement, copy, and try to, they can put another AI software to verify it. Then they can include the thesis. Then when we submitting to the thesis, we can obviously get plagiarized. So try to avoid plagiarize, because it's a simple formula only. Try to give your own word, otherwise you can verify it, then give a proper citation. You can able to avoid plagiarism. Then reference management. After the intent citation pattern, you can give the parental citation in the reference part. So that is more important. That has some structure like APA, MLA, Chicago. There is multiple citations, structure is there. Depends on the institution, prescribed reference pattern. You can able to follow those things. Now there is multiple softwares are there, multiple AIs also there to help the researcher to cite, get references in a APA style in what forms. So research, why I'm connecting to academic writing into research? Because without research knowledge and research knowledge and skills, we cannot able to do writing, academic writing. So it's a fundamental need to develop, to acquire knowledge in research methodology, then research process, then literature review thing, that give you certain knowledge, you to develop an argument. Why we need an argument? Because our study purpose, we can, our study develop an argument. Fundamentally, we can seek answer for the argument, right? What is your argument? Then what is your claim in your research is more important. So in most of the writing part, the researcher argument was clear, but they cannot able to substantiate their argument to the writing. Somewhere they can get flaw because they get lack knowledge in research methodology than other aspects. So it's a fundamental thing. The argument should be logical. It should has crafting a strong, clear argument and hypothesis. For example, hypothesis leader research. Why we need hypothesis in our research? So without hypothesis, your study will go without any directions. Like hypothesis, you give you certain directions. This form of way you can go, then you get answer. That is your findings. Then based on the findings, you can give your recommendations, then future research directions, then suggestions, whatever things. So hypothesis should be logical and reasoning, and also most important, it should be measurable, right? So without, for example, while we framing the hypothesis, most of the research are failing because they know the logical sense of making hypothesis. Even though they can make, they don't have that substantiate statements, data in their questionnaire, right? So your questionnaire is more important. What is your questionnaire? What is your objective? What is your hypothesis? Whatever thing you put in the objectives, that obviously you become hypothesis. These all objectives and hypothesis related things must be in the questionnaire, right? Then only you can give answer to that objectives and hypothesis. So while we constructing this process, make sure your hypothesis should be measurable, then cross-check your questionnaire, whether these aspects and these dimensions incorporate in the questionnaire or not. If it is not, you can try to reconstruct the process. Why? Because a research process now give you certain flexibility. You can able to change when through each by each process. It's not about the matter. Only thing, the results, everything should have a logical link. Then only you can give your your results become more authentic and more scientific. So while we developing argument, we need a supportive evidence, right? So supporting evidence, how we can give our supporting evidence through existing knowledge and existing sources of databases. Whatever thing we can frame, we able to give us a justification or substantiate with it that argument with existing source of knowledge. Then that should be critically analyzed. That should be evidence one. Then only that logical argument will go into your study. Then you can able to conduct your study in a logic and scientific manner. Anyway, you can get this knowledge and the inferences. You can finish your writing pattern. After the writing pattern, you must do this process, because most of the researcher, they are not recheck the process. They are not they are not discussed with the research, the research process with the colleagues or supervisors or whatever thing. They can simply submit into the journals. Then most of the getting rejected. Why? Because we can do revise. After completing our articles, we can able to recheck the process. It's more important, it should be peer review, right? We can discuss our research process or our research article to our colleague or co-scholars. Then we get get their feedback. So if their feedback become logical and scientific, we can able to change. We can reconstruct our process. Then it become more authentic. Then proofreading is more important. Before submitting your article, we need to do proofreading, either by the existing like database, like scientific scientific databases also there, softwares also there. We can give our we can submit our journal, submit our articles into that software. We can get proofreading. For example, Trinka AI is more effective in terms of proofreading. It has 5 free trials. You can use that. After completing your article, you can submit into Trinka. Then you get proofreading. Then you can try to clear your grammatical error. Then whatever it has sequence, it give you more sequence. Then you can able to reconstruct the process. Then again you can submit your article into journal. It getting chance to publish. After the writing process, anyway, we can have an article now. It is most important, our product will reach the needed place or standardized space. Selecting journals is most important thing. So while we develop an article, while we writing, while we finish the article process, we have to search appropriate journal for to submit our articles to get published, right? So this is a art actually. So what you do first, you can go to your publishers. Then you can try to read their aim and scope, then publication process, guidelines, then structures. Then you can combine with the process or have a similarity with your research article. Then you can try to approach that article. Most importantly, most of the journals are giving acceptance rate, right? Most of the journals are giving acceptance rate 20%, 30%. Then API is most important. APC, article processing charge. Whether you cannot able to bear the expenses cost by the publishers, you can have a way of in certain journals give you way of for the scholars to getting 70% or 30% weightage. So these are the most important things scholars could take, or researcher or academician should take consideration while we publishing. So who is your audience? Anyway, we can start to write our articles. Our article is getting ready. Who is our audience is more important. Whether we can submit to the journals or conferences or seminars. So depends on that. You can start your research process, starting your writing things. Then try to give important thing as such as needed. Then dealing with rejections. I'm previously I also faced this problem when I was submitting to Taylor and Francis. Obviously, the 2 review process was gone. Then after that final stage, my article got rejected. Then I got fed up. Then I can read the reviewer comment. It give me more insight. How they can they can review the process. They can review my article. Then what way I was lacking to that. So this is a process was helping me to improve my writing skills and in technical skills to submit other things also in a successful manner. While we submitting article in a standardized journals, obviously after the conclusion part, you can see the conflict of interest. You must clear your conflict of interest. You don't have any conflict of interest, set you can give your statement that I don't have any conflict of interest to publish this article like that. So data integrity is most important thing when we are conducting research or publication. That's thing we must need to take considerations. Then impact and visibility. So when we find our journals, when kindly look at the impact factor of the journals, then H index, then publication rate, then the speed, publication speed of the journals is most important thing. When it is more important when we publish our article to the standardized basis, because without knowing this process, now we can simply submit whether the H index, whether the impact factor is very low, your article getting more time to publish. So these things are most important when we are now submitting our articles or writing or reports to the journals or whatever things. So another thing is most important. We write this, we write these articles or research process to get visibility to worldwide. Whether mostly try to choose open access journals. Your article should be visibilized the global worldwide. Then you getting more, index citations. You're getting more index citation. Obviously, your H index will be go high. Enhance your visibility. Kindly register yourself into ResearchGate under Google Scholar, then ORCID. Most important thing now, most important and famous or standardized institutions in the worldwide require Publon databases. So kindly enroll yourself into the databases which has need Web of Science index. So you should enter. You get a ORCID ID. Then you can enter into your databases into Web of Science, then Publon, that give you more visible to your potential into worldwide. These are the writing sources which I prescribed you. Most of them familiar to you, but try to use this writing resources when you are in a writing process, or this is whatever things it give you more, it will more help to you. So thank you so much for your patiently listening. So if you have any doubt, kindly feel free to ask me.
Dear participants, please, do you have any query? Please, you can ask now.
Sir, while using the citation and reference, whether we should use the MLA or APA style in social science, like political science?
Yes. So it depends actually. So mostly APA is a common one. Most of the universities in India, so in other journals, standard journals also requiring APA 7th editions. So it depends on the journals. That's why I told you while in my presentation, when you're submitting your article, kindly go to the website page and read the aim process of the journals. They clearly stated that this kind of reference pattern we needed. So that thing you can use some softwares which AA is also there. You can simply give your state copy, paste into your statement that give you your reference pattern. You can choose that give you APA style Chicago, AP, MLA, then Harvard, then Lancet thing, whatever thing they will clearly mention in the upper part. You can simply click through that. You can get different citations. I hope I will give you answer for your question.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Sir,
Yes,
sir,
ma'am.
this is Neha. Sir,
Yes.
thank you so much for this enriching lecture. I have a doubt that what things should be taken care of while deciding chapterization of this. Can you please shed some light on this?
Once again, you tell your question. I cannot hear that.
Sir, while deciding chapterization of thesis on a particular topic, what things researchers should take care of?
Yes. I hope you are a scholar.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for the question, because chapterization, it depends. So for example, in a conventional part, we have 5 chapterization, mostly most common in India. For example, introduction, then followed by review of literature, then followed by research methodology, then followed by data analysis and interpretations, then followed by suggestions and conclusions. It's a context specific one. It depends about what methodology and what research process you have taken. For example, if you choose the mixed method approach, whether you can develop your tool, or whether in an intervention or in a psychological perspective, most of the research are adopting intervention designs also. They can combine qualitative and quantitative aspect. In the literature part also, they can choose some separate method. For example, in a systematic literature review, not rather than the summarizing or narrative literature review, they can choose their own methods, which is more appropriate to their research. In that context, you can increase your chapterization also. Everything depends on APA guidelines only. The APA guidelines clearly stated that most common thing should be 5 chapters. But in a contemporary research, everything depends on the research process and the research methodology thing. For I completing my PhD, I have 8 chapters. For example, I separate methodology into 3 chapters. First part, I can give explanation about the research paradigm and philosophical view and theoretical framework, objectives, hypothesis, sampling technique, data collection procedure, ethical guidelines, then analysis procedure. Everything I was quoted in the first chapter. Then section A, I have a separate chapter of chapter 3 section. It's called section A, which I was developed intervention module, then a tool for measuring my research problem. It depends on your research problem and your context and the methodology, whatever thing.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank
I
you.
hope you understand.
Yes, sir, I got it.
If you
Thank
have
you.
any further doubt, feel free to ask me.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hello.
Yes.
Am I audible?
Sir, will you speak louder?
Sir, I have a question, sir.
Yes, sir.
That what sort of strategies that researcher adopt to enhance clarity and originality in academic writing, particularly in the context of increasing publication pressure?
Sir, one more, sir, please. I can. Your voice is too lower. Sorry.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Will you speak quite louder, sir?
So, what sort of strategies can researcher adopt to enhance clarity, originality in academic research, academic
Yes.
writing, particularly in the context of increasing publication pressures?
Yes.
And
Thank you so much.
thank you.
Yes, it's a nice question, actually. Strategy is very simple, actually. So we don't have use any separate strategy. One thing, whatever thing we are writing, we are conducting research, we have certain, basic inferences about the problem and thing. So how these inferences came? Through literature review. Literature review, it's a hard part of the research. If you done a literature review in a good manner, you will get all answers through entire process. For example, you can able to understand your research design. You can able to find out your tool for data collection. You can able to find out your sampling procedures. Sometimes you can able to find out your analysis techniques also. So researcher need to more focus on literature review part that will direct you to another things in a systematic way. That is the most important strategy. If you follow this strategy, your research become more authentic, more unique, more, it has more novelty. Why? Because research gap will guide you. So these are the process was done by this regarding this problem in an existing scenario. So you can able to find out the gap. You can fill that gap with your research questions. That research question require appropriate research design. That research design requires appropriate tool of data collection and sampling procedures, then data analysis thing. These processes are if constructed in a systematic manner, obviously your findings have more authentic. So it get high chance to publish your article in a scientific journals quite easily.
मी म्हटलं मग इकडे ये म्हटलं सरळ 15 दिवस काय करतो मग मी तर
I
सांगितलं
hope
की
you
मला
understand, sir.
Yes, I got it, sir.
ठीक आहे
Fine,
मला
thank you, sir.
म्हटलं मॅनेज करायला
Sir, I have
तू
a
सरळ इकडे
question.
ये
May I ask you?
आई त्यांचं त्यांना काय तर बघत बसतात म्हटलं त्यांचं ते करतात म्हटलं यायशी काय करू
पण
दे
तिनं
नको
जायचं आता काय करायचं
Madam,
सांग.
Hello, sir.
yes, madam.
Sir, I have a question. May I ask you?
Yes, please.
Okay, sir. In the structuring of an academic paper where you have given IMRAD structure, so
Yes,
in that I have a question regarding like there is a part of introduction and
yes,
there is a part of discussion.
yes,
So the thing which we mentioned in introduction part will be similar to the discussion too, or there
yes.
would be a slight difference.
Obviously, it has difference.
So,
So,
sir,
hmm,
yeah, sir.
yeah, you finish
Continue,
your
sir.
question. Yes,
बोलिए आप.
you can finish your question, ma'am. Then we'll continue.
Okay, so sir, the query of mine is like I'm working on I have my dissertation
Yes,
where I am a bit confused between like what should I mention in my introduction and should it be the same with the discussion because what we are discussing is a part of introduction.
yes,
So what would be the slight difference where the introduction part would be different from the discussion?
yes,
Because of these two, I have to recommend
yes,
accordingly with that. So, sir, can you please clarify
yes.
this to me?
Yes, ma'am. I understand your question. Thanks for your question. This is the most common problem faced nowadays the scholars are facing, because they will give some background informations in the introduction part. Somewhere it obviously came to discussion part. Then what we have uniqueness. Both are looking quite same. Have a similarity. It's not like that, but that's why I give you the philosophical view of understanding the research problem. Then that give you logical understanding about the problem. Then it give you direct you structures also. For example, in a introduction chapter, we can commonly give what is the problem, what is the nature of the problem, what is the causes of the problem, then what is the impact of the problem. Then we use some statistical packages also, right? So in the introduction part, so within that we can give theoretical substantiation with the introduction part. Then some models which are connecting to the introduction part. Most of the things which are quite peripheral things we have to deal in the introduction part in India. So it's not like that. While you writing in an introduction part, you must have separate sections, not in a common terms or a common statement or vague things which don't have any authenticity or based on your inferences you will write. So it has a separate section by each part. For example, the depression. For example, if you take like example of depression, you can give causes in the base of similar concept which are already published in WHO or whatever thing. We can give we can give the statement only these are things are caused by causing depression of women or whatever thing like that. It's not like that. In a contemporary scenario, our writing skills, writing patterns are changing. So mostly, we give authenticating that statement. We can try to use, our existing findings, whether it should be in the, already in the government report, or we can give examples to the government report or databases, whatever thing we can able to take. We can substantiate those things with the existing forms also. In a discussion part, discussion is something different, uniquely different with the introduction. Okay, discussion, what about you can discuss your entire process. Make sure certain similarities we have. We cannot able to omit that thing. Certain maybe minute similarities will have. More than discussion part, you can discuss your findings with existing source of literature. How your findings become authentic, or have similarities and differences with existing findings. Though this thing is more important in the research discussion part, it includes all things also. How your objectives connect with your theoretical part, how your conceptual framework will linkages with your theoretical part, how your results will connect with the theories. So these things in social sciences is more important. We discuss in the discussion chapter. It gives you certain instinct, it gives you certain knowledge, something novelty to the reader. They can also interest to read your discussion part.
Thank you, sir. Sir, also I would like to ask you one last question,
Fine,
which is like conclusion is a very important part of dissertation.
yes.
So I want to know that will the conclusion would be in a positive way, or will the conclusion would be in a negative way? Like what should be the perfect way to write conclusion so that it looks authentic, and it should not be like I have to rewrite my dissertation again and again.
Nice question. Nice question. So it's not a matter about positive or negative. No. So that's why in my presentation, I coded like minimize the bias. No. So researcher bias, I also give the explanation about how the researcher sensitize the bias. Our research bias will increase because in mostly, for example, in a qualitative research, especially to the qualitative research, most of the researchers feel that, oh, if we can try to sensitize this research problem, then only it become more, more good research. They have some assumption like that. Not like that. Not in a positive or manner. Whatever the existing findings is there, based on the findings, only our conclusion should be construct. So it's not a matter about positive thing or negative thing. If the results are positive, you can give your positive comments into the conclusion part. If your results are negative, please code it your thing. Whatever things are exist, try to convey that thing in the conclusion part. Then only the policy makers, then other future research are able to understand the problem. Then they can conduct further studies to minimize that problem severity, or try to find out some different solution for the problem to make the negative things into positive.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam.
Could you please share your PPT with us?
Yes, sure. I will share. I will give it to the organizing committee. You will get. It's not about you cannot get more information into PPT. It's a simple thing only. I can code it some few glimpses only. So it not give you certain more information about the academic writing thing and publication and research ethics and research methodology thing. I can give you certain glimpses. If you get interested, obviously you can go to search and read through relevant information to get more detail in other sources. That's why I told
Good
you
evening,
every
sir.
one second, man. I will answer this question, then I will come back. Okay. Then everything starts with curiosity, sir. So if you have curiosity about this process, why I can code the research paradigm and philosophical view and methods and methodology and ethics into academic writing, because when you start writing, obviously you have certain skills and knowledge regarding to that. So without that, you cannot be able to start your writing. So unless it's not become an academic writing, right? So that's why I give you, I can share this PPT, you can get your. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, ma'am.
Sir, my question is that I'm going to enter very soon in a research PhD journey. So I just want your help that will you please provide me some of the tips how to write an effective research proposal?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Effective research proposal.
Yeah.
Good question. Because why no? So now, obviously, we can call that ghost researchers. Ghost researchers. Who is ghost researcher? Because most of the scholars trying to get from research help from research centers, research consultant to frame a research proposal for to conduct the research. So I say myself quoted as ghost researcher because I'm not done anything writing proposals, but I guide you. Effective research proposals. How to write an effective research proposal? First, you choose your research problem. That's a fundamental thing. So based on that, you can try to read and understand that process through existing findings or discuss with some expert who is relatively work with a particular aspect. So in that way, you can first try to understand the problem, then you go for literature review. I already mentioned that if you good in literature review, your thesis will be finished, right? You can able to understand, you can able to try to find out your research problem, objectives, hypothesis, research design techniques, whatever things, entire things you can get capped from your literature review. So my advice to you, if you want to write a effective research proposal, kindly refer to existing literature to most relevant to your topic, then your eye will be always open, right? You also get yourself as an expert into write a research proposals. The structure is there. You can go to the websites, like you can follow the APA guideline. The structure is quite familiar, quite common structure is there. That's not another issue. How you give you a unique topic, then how you find out your problem using a scientific methods, techniques, methods and methodology. That is more important.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for providing valuable info. God bless.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, ma'am.
Sir, I have a doubt. So how do we justify our sample size in a qualitative research? Is there
in
any
quantitative
ideal
research?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah. Thank you.
Is there
Thank you
any
so much.
is there any ideal or appropriate
yes.
sample size?
Yes, it has. That's a good question also, because I'm attending more than 30 to 40 vivos. Every externals and was asking how you arrive the sample size of this. What is the methodological justification of arriving sample size of this? Okay, so obviously the scholar gets stuck. That is the art. Okay, that's a simple thing only. Sampling is one of the dimension of the research methodology process. It's a systematic way you have to apply logical and analytical thinking and mathematical thinking also, techniques also to arriving sample size. Nowadays, most softwares are coming to help you to arrive your sample size. Most effective one is AP-Info sample size calculator. Note it down, the upcoming scholars, it should be useful for you. Because why I'm suggesting that, if you go to the software, you can put your population size, it give you the sample size for confidence interval. For example, 90 or 99.9%, how many samples you will take. So sampling formulas also there. You can, you can, based on that, you can give justification based on this modeling, based on this formula, I can choose this sampling size of this population, then it becomes justified one. Then most important thing, your inclusion and exclusion criteria in the sample selection process. Your sample size also depends on your inclusion and exclusion criteria. So try to make specify inclusion and exclusion criteria. So if it is clear, your sampling process also clear, your sampling size also clear, then appropriate sampling methods you need to apply. So I'm in my presentation, I'm not quoted any sampling techniques. I think this workshop will cover your sampling procedures and analytics, everything. You get some information regarding to sample selection process. It's quite easy only. Don't get afraid. It's a very simple one. But only thing, literature review, it's most important thing. In existing published article also, they can give you direction how they arrive sample size. Please take time, at least read more than 3 times to one article. You can get get insight about the entire process. You can try to remove that loop through that knowledge.
Sir, can you please repeat the name of the software?
AP Info Sample Size Calculator.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Any more questions? Please speak.
Sir, excuse me. Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
So you said now, no, sir. AP Info Sample Size Calculator. Is that for qualitative or quantitative? Which one?
Well, yes, ma'am. That's why I'm in my methodological part. I can code that. Sorry, in my presentation, I can code that. Research paradigm. Then the ideographic approach. Then nomothetic approach. In qualitative aspect, we don't need use any sample size calculator, because it's give mostly non-probability sampling techniques are only used in qualitative approach, because that approach focusing exploring the problem rather than the explaining the problem. Statistical packages, statistical patterns, statistical analysis are not applicable in the qualitative aspect. We have separate analysis things in qualitative aspect. So more focusing on samples. The problem exploration is most important. You can deal one sample with conducting qualitative research. It's called one case study. Like a biographical narrative research, you can conduct with one sample. Then obviously the most familiar method, focus group discussion, was conducted by minimum 8 to 12 respondents. At this stage, the sampling saturation was reached. Because why, more than, we cannot able to restrict our variables in qualitative. We can restrict our variable, we can construct our variables in quantitative. They both have a separate dimensions. You need understanding of methodological aspect. Then only you can, you can able to construct your sampling procedures and all.
Please, dear participants, now time to handle the lecture. Please propose vote of thanks, please.
Okay, sir. Any more questions? If you want, please ask fastly.
Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
ma'am.
Sir, good evening, sir. Thank you
Good
so
evening.
much for your session.
Thank you.
It is usually told like whenever we do the literature review, we are asked to take only recent, articles, papers
yes,
like that. Is it so? Whenever we need any historical things or the root, so
Yes.
how good it is to go like that?
Thank you for the question.
Do you
Wonderful
agree with
question.
that?
Yeah. I'm not agree, because why? No, I'm not rejecting also. I'm not agree, I'm not disagree.
Okay.
Why? Because no, it's all depends. If you are conducting study in mostly qualitative studies are conducted, because we don't have any separate, we don't have enough existing literature. So that's why we can go explore into our problems. So in that context, we can use our old articles also. It depends about the research problem. If you choose research, historical research, obviously you can go for old articles only. Or you want to conduct your research in a modern scenario, you can choose. Everything depends about your inclusion and the exclusion criteria. You can choose your inclusion criteria in literature review chapters also. Now scoping review is the most familiar one. It has it has 6 dimensions, 6 methodology process. In that process, step number 2 clearly mentioned that you should state your research question, as well as you can construct your inclusion and exclusion criteria. Your inclusion criteria, you can clearly you can give your time span also. Because I am choosing article was published in 1950 to 1970, or whatever decades you want to include, you can include, but it has methodological justification. We need to focus on that. Thank you.
So you say that it depends on the research problem you have chosen.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, madam.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, madam.
Good
you,
evening,
sir.
everyone. As we come to the conclusion of these enlightening sections, it is my privilege to deliver the vote of thanks on behalf of the organizing committee. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to our distinguished speaker, Dr. Ambati Nageshwara Rao and Dr. C. Palaniswamy, for sharing your valuable insights and expertise with us today. Your knowledge and experiences have provided us with a wealth of information and inspiration. We are truly honored to have you with us. And I would like to thank everyone who contributed and participated for making today's session a memorable and impactful experience. Have a great evening, everyone. Thank you all.
Oh, 1 second, ma'am. I want to convey my sincere gratitude to Dr. Prabhakaran sir. Because he only refer me, because why through that opportunity only I'm not appraising him. He is a sincere fellow. He is thirst towards research. While we are in a Bardiyar University, we always discuss about the research methodology things, then the research projects. These are publication things, then patent right, then copyright. These are things only we are discussing. Somewhere the saw got opportunity in there. He is a expert in research. He can prove himself with the publications, then as well as patent right and copyright. Thank you so much for this opportunity, sir. Then thank you so much for Indian Sociological Society, then Pondicherry University, Central University, then the Honorable Vice Chancellor, then other convener of this program. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and thank you so much for the participants also. They are raising more questions. Even they are interested to ask me to more questions. So obviously time was close. So thank you all. Thank you so much for the. I share this PPT to the committee.
sir.
If
Thank
you want,
you,
you can take. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thanks you again, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Aroi với đồng ta hai độ araga.
As we wrap up the 9th day of this 10-day workshop, I would like to take a moment to thank each of you for your dedication, focus, and active engagement. Tomorrow, we have something exciting in store. A distinguished resource person will be presenting tomorrow, and it is an opportunity you don't want to miss. I encourage everyone to join on time to end the workshop with a grand notes. Additionally, we will be celebrating our collecting achievements with a valedictory ceremony, making the end of this fantastic experience. I look forward to seeing all of you tomorrow for this exciting finale. Thank you once again. Thank you.